Don't make the same mistake that I made when I was relocating to the UK. And that mistake was just praying about an ideal opportunity, praying for my relocation journey, but not really drilling down on the preparation for the opportunity itself. And I know a lot of people are in the same boat or have been in the same boat as me. If that is you, or you've come across people that are like that, then this video is for you, where we are talking about preparing for an opportunity well in advance. Because sometimes you're thinking, I'm waiting for an opportunity, and yet that very same opportunity is actually waiting for you. It's waiting for you to be prepared, because there is nothing that is so disheartening as an opportunity presenting itself, only for you to realize that you're not ready physically, emotionally, and mentally. So we're going to be talking about all of that in this video. So big welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Florence, and let's get right into it. Believe you me or not, when opportunities do come, they don't come announced. They just come disguised into something that most people, 90% of people, would discard as, oh, not for me, or too good to be true. But that's how opportunities present themselves. In most cases, they do present themselves as a volunteer opportunity, or just something that is not as formal or not as expected. Just something that is in disguise, and a lot of people would discard that. I've been talking lately with a lot of people since the announcement in the UK of all this speculation around indefinite leave to remain being moved from 5 years to 10-year route. And one of the things that they highlighted was volunteering as part of the criteria that they would consider. So I've been talking to some of my friends, people reaching out to me and asking, have you started volunteering? Which areas would you look at into volunteering? I would say there are so many opportunities in which you can volunteer. I've made videos on how you can join the NHS. It's struggling, and we're in winter at the moment. Things like volunteering with them, if you're already in the care sector, or even if you're in a different sector, there are other departments that would like for you to volunteer with them. It's a good way to start. In this country, there are so many charities everywhere you look. There are so many charities, different areas, whether you want to work with people, whether you want to work with animals, whether you want to, the charities to do with the environment, climate change, you name it. You can join those organizations. Why do I say it's a good way of really preparing for opportunities? It's because you're building your experience portfolio. You are seeing if you really like a certain work environment or a certain field of work or study. So it's a really good way in which you can do it. No wonder why I've been sharing with my friends, encouraging them to say, well, why don't you volunteer? One of the reasons why I talk so much about volunteering is because, having worked for the NHS, I realized that when you volunteer with a certain organization, you access the same trainings that the staff that work for that organization as permanent staff can access. So it's a way of really accessing free learning. A lot of people do not like this one, but how opportunities sometimes do present an opportunity for you to prepare is through extra work. Being asked to come in an extra day, being asked to cover an extra shift. A lot of people do not like that. I've had a lot of people go like, I switch my phone if I'm off because I don't like being called to come and cover a shift. But guess what? This is how sometimes opportunities do present themselves to you. I always say, God does not waste blessings. He would never give you anything that is extra if he hasn't seen you really do much with what you already have. So by being in those spaces, by being available when you can, and by saying when you can, we're not saying burn yourself out or neglect other areas of life, but there has to be a certain form of balance. And I'm always sharing to say, most of these opportunities, our managers look at reliability, our managers look at adaptability, how much you give for the team before they can set you up for that promotion, before they can set you up for that next big opportunity, before they can set you up for that training opportunity. They will look at what you do with what you have. They look at how prepared you are for what is to come, for what you're given. So instead of us asking ourselves, when is my opportunity coming? We should always ask ourselves, am I prepared for the big opportunity if it is to come today? And I know for most migrants, especially those that are living in the UK, the dream is, I want to relocate to Australia. I want to move to Canada. I want to move to New Zealand. I want to move to America. Are you ready for opportunities there? Have you prepared yourself mentally, emotionally, physically for that to come, for that to be available? I always say, We look at other people and what they have in life and we go like, but God, why is it that I don't have that? I always say God's timing is the best. And when I look at everything that has happened to me and what has happened in my life, I always say, looked at how ready I was for the opportunities that were coming, and then He present them. So why I'm making this video is to say, let's work on ourselves instead of entirely being fixated on when is my opportunity coming, where are the opportunities at. Start preparing yourself for the opportunities, and surely they will present themselves. So the question that is on everybody's mind is, so how do I prepare for these opportunities? Trust me, building capacity is the first port of call. Build capacity for that opportunity. I would say you don't want a situation where an opportunity has presented itself and you want to use that as a training ground. No, your preparation season should have been your training ground. You want to show up for that opportunity and you know what you're doing. I'll tell you a good example of what I did before coming to the UK. Though I feel I could have done more, but there are things that I did and I'm glad I did those things right. Part and parcel of that was the moment I realized there was an opportunity to relocate to the UK as a caregiver, I enrolled on a course. Partly was because I just do not want an opportunity. I'm just not an opportunist, but I want to go and add value. I want to know more about this field. It wasn't my area of study. It wasn't the industry that I had trained for, but I was willing to go in and all out. So I enrolled on a caregiver course with the Red Cross. And it included the theory and the practical part. The theory part will be in class. There were exams to be written. There were practical sessions to be done where you would actually go to a proper hospital settings and you were doing your hours in there before you could be signed off. And I'm glad I did that, because now, even in as much as I came as a domiciliary care worker, 18 months down the line, I joined the NHS and now I work in a hospital environment. It wasn't too strange an environment, though different from what I had been exposed to before. But then I quickly adapted. I quickly learned the ropes, and I must say it was good experience, good training, being prepared for opportunities to come. And believe you me, I'm a strong believer of the fact that the opportunities that come our way are the ones that we've prepared for. Sometimes you're thinking, why is it that I've been applying to join the NHS, but I seem not to, my breakthrough? Are you prepared for it? What sort of courses have you done? What sort of skills have you got? What sort of, that could add value to the role that you're applying do you have? Always ask yourself those questions. And speaking of building capacity, I would always say, do not pray for the next level if you haven't mastered the one that you're already in. Master what you have first before you can then pray for the next level. If you want to learn to lead, you have to be a good server. You have to learn to serve first. If you want to learn to speak, then you have to practice now. You have to have practiced for you to be able then to say, I can speak. I can really make use of my voice. That's what I believe in, at least. And that contributes towards building capacity. The second way in which to best prepare is to prepare when nobody is watching. And I know it's so easy for one to really take center stage and be doing what they're doing if there is a microphone, if there is people applauding. But real preparation happens when nobody is literally watching. It's the small little things that you do when your manager is not looking at you, when your colleagues are not even there. The small little interactions I always refer to really care work having given me the best learning opportunities I could never imagine. The learning opportunities that I couldn't even get in a classroom setting. I'll tell you for myself how I measure consistency is, how do I relate with the different patients that I get privileged to really look after? What are my interactions? What are the feedbacks? How do I interact with the families? Do I offer them that drink when they've been there all day? It's the little things really that you do, and you're doing them consistently, and a good shift if I haven't done 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a good service if I've been looking after someone for a week or more and I don't even know how they take their cup of tea. It's how you credibility. It's how your credibility opens and unlocks doors that you never imagined. But you build credibility through being consistent in little things that you do, the things that you go like, who bothers with how I make a certain cup of tea? But remember, and one of the things that I've learned really is people give feedback, especially in this job, the care job. They give feedback, families do give feedback, and sometimes you really melt at the compliments that you get when you've done a good service. And also sometimes you get really an eye-opener when you haven't done quite well and you really find out the service always stay consistent, and that will build your credibility and therefore preparedness for the opportunities that you've always dreamed and prayed for. This one is a big one, and I've lived that. Preparing in faith and not fear. Most people do stop preparing, especially when opportunities do not come their way. I've had a lot of emails, a lot of contact was saying, all my documents and everything, and then this pathway is closed. And so they just stop generally. Believe you me, the universe, how it presents opportunities for you is not through your wish list, but is through your belief. Your belief system is everything. I'm really does prepare well in advance. And just recently, I did my IELTS in August this year. And a lot of people were asking, why are you writing IELTS? I mean, in the UK, why are you going this extra mile? For me, it's preparation. Because I know some of the things that I want to do require that. In as much as I haven't got them there, or in as much as the picture is not as vivid, as clear, but I know I'm preparing for something bigger. So I'm challenging you to really prepare, because preparation is a currency of faith. Preparation is how you exercise your faith, is how you build belief in yourself by preparing. You prepare for things that you had, but things that will come. There are times when you go to enroll on this course because I believe something good is going to happen. To have this training because I know something along these lines, an opportunity is going to open. You strongly feel it, and believe you me, that's how the universe will respond. If you are a believer like myself, there are times when I really do have that strong feeling to say, well, I think I've prepared enough. I think I've done enough. I've gained enough experience in this. I think it's time for an upgrade. I do feel it within me. Even as I'm praying, I pray from a position of faith, because I would have known that I now have the capacity. I now have what it takes for me to really be a contender. Even if an opportunity is to present itself, I can literally say, right, here I am, and I'm ready to serve. So if you're on a journey where you really wanting something, start preparing, start building the capacity, start putting yourself in that pole position where, given an opportunity, you can say, I can do that. I've got the skills for it. I've got the experience for it, and the rest will be history. We can never talk about preparation without talking about our surroundings, the people that surround us. Believe you me, the diaspora has taught me something. Who you surround yourself with matters in terms of preparation. Preparation for anything. It could be you preparing for all these immigration changes that are coming. It could be you preparing for that next stage in your career. It could be preparing you for that next stage in, while it's in the diaspora. The people that surround you matter. I'm always say be very intentional about the people that surround you. And this is not to say be someone who's competitive. Do not compete. I always surround myself with people that stretch me, people that push me to think outside the box, people that push me to prepare for even the wildest of dreams, people that challenge me, people that point me in the direction to say, we didn't get here by luck, but we got here because we prepared. And I'm challenging you to look at your circle, look around, check the people that surround you on your journey, and see if they are the kind of people that will really push you to be preparing for the next stage, people that stretch you, stretch your limits, stretch your skills, stretch your strength and capacity in terms of preparing for the next stage of life. That is another very important way in which you can prepare for the next big thing in your life. We can never talk about preparation and not talk about spiritual alignment, because I'm a believer and I believe so much in God being a big of everything that happens in our life. And just recently I was telling someone to say, you know what, God knows the rest of our script. He knows the next step. He knows the next big thing that will happen to our life. However, you can have the best skills, you can have the best experience and still miss an opportunity. How do you do that? If you are preparing without aligning with God, you can never be able to discern an opportunity when it comes. Sometimes it could present itself in disguise. If you do not have a discerning spirit, you might miss that opportunity. Reflecting on this, my UK journey, to say, you know what, when I look at myself, I don't look deserving of this opportunity. There are people who are far more qualified than I am. There are so many other people who had far-reaching, good qualifications, good skills for these opportunities, but they're still back home. They're still looking for their next big opportunity. But when this opportunity came, I grabbed it with both hands. I I knew this was my breakthrough. How I knew it was through alignment. So I always encourage you to say, if you're looking for your next big step, if you're working towards your next big step, spend time with God. Discern timing, discern opportunities, be aligned with God's word and purpose for your life. And I always say, even as we pray, let's be very intentional and very purposeful and very well aligned with what God has intended for our life. And I'm one of those people who always say, when I pray, I'm quite specific and explicit with God to say, whatever next stage that you're taking me, it should fit within what you intend for me and for my family. What aligns with your word? What aligns with your purpose and your goals for me? That's always my prayer around anything. If I'm praying for a breakthrough, that's how I approach it, because I know without alignment with God, we may miss opportunities, or sometimes we may go for things that we think this is a big opportunity, and then you realize, no, it wasn't big after all. But then sometimes it will be too late. So alignment is very key. Listen, I know how it is to really be ready for change and waiting, and it doesn't come. For those of you that have been on this platform long enough, I've shared how I worked on relocating for 5 good years, tried 5 different countries, until on the 5th one, it was the UK, and that was my biggest breakthrough. So I believe growth happens in the quiet. It's in the quiet seasons. It's when nothing seems to be happening that you'll be growing, that the roots are growing, so that when God reveals the big thing, the big opportunity, you won't crumble because you've been prepared. So in those quiet seasons, continue to pray, continue to prepare, continue to build capacity, because that opportunity is coming. Don't despair, don't lose hope, but keep building capacity. How do you do that? Keep going for those courses, keep, like volunteering, do things like just extra work, even unpaid work, go for it. Keep showing intention, showing keenness. Extra courses, extra activities will go a long way in your preparation season. So today I challenge you to prepare like because it's coming. It's just a matter of when, but it is coming. So sharpen those skills, fix that mindset on one thing, and stay all prayed up, because that opportunity is surely coming. And when it does come, it will be asking of that which you've become when everything seemed to be on a standstill. This is all I had for you in this video. If you found so much value in this, join our, by subscribing to this platform. Give us a thumbs up as well, and leave a comment in the comment section. Join us by subscribing, because on this platform we do talk about relocation, success, struggles, life in the diaspora, and we want to build that tribe of people that believe in themselves, that build on their experiences and are on a path to becoming something big. So be a part of it by being on this platform, and don't forget to put the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our valuable videos where we share our experiences, our thoughts and insights, especially as diasporans living abroad, wanting to succeed, wanting to build that mentality, that capacity that says, I can. If they did it before me, I surely can do it. So I'll see you in my next video. So bye for now.